Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. Lisa, Scott, Jared on his way.
He's coming. He'll be here in a second.
There he is. Where's the orange coffee cup?
I didn't bring it today.
Oh, Jared.
So now you can see what I'm drinking.
Water.
Water.
Oh, it's all right. Stay hydrated.
Coffee? No coffee? You're done with your coffee?
I'm done with it.
Okay.
That's always in the Yeti in the morning.
On to the H2O
Yeah.
this morning. All right,
right.
we got to tell you about our spots you could find this amazing Facebook Live at every morning. Right here on your feed. You can join us from 8 to 9 sometime in there. We'll make sure to get on there for you. Also, check it out on that InForum YouTube channel. Also, you can find it on inforum.com/podcast. Just look for the InForum Minute.
Oh my goodness. Weather-wise, let's talk about that right away, because yesterday was at this time, well, it was starting to maybe, the snow was done, but the wind was still howling. It was a mess.
Yeah, I mean, when the show started at 5 a.m. yesterday, it was still gusting to 50. And then by the end of the show, it was gusting to about 40. So it was like starting to back. I mean, it was still crazy windy, but yeah. And this morning, totally different ball game. It's just cold, and it's going to be just a quiet, cold day. And we joked all morning long about just like, you're going to go outside and say it's cold, but there's no wind, so it's not that bad.
Exactly.
We know it's silly to say it, but I can't stop. Like, if you're from North Dakota, Minnesota, South Dakota, you say it.
Yeah, the
Wouldn't
sun
be so bad if it wasn't for the wind.
Yeah, and you go outside today and you're like, oh, it's cool. You know, I'm gonna take the dog for a walk.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that bad. You know, it's 5 below outside.
I don't have icicles coming from my eyelids and nose, so
Yeah.
good day. All right.
But more wind tomorrow.
Okay.
And then the rest of the weekend's looking all right. I would say our next shot at snow will come on Sunday, and it's going to be more of a nuisance snow, maybe picking up half-inch here and there. And then we may have another one of those on Monday, so tracking 2 little waves of light snow in the forecast.
But temperature's much better by this weekend.
Yeah, I'm thinking some of us could reach into the 30s.
nice.
So, but there'll be a lot of 20s, but just watch maybe reach some 30s in your area.
Sounds good.
Okay.
I'm all right with that.
Perfect. Thank you, Jared.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
Go enjoy your water.
Don't drink too much. Just kidding. All right. Local headlines this morning. We did have some breaking news out of Moorhead. We are working to learn about a man that the Minnesota State Patrol say they're looking for this morning. Moorhead police say that they were called to assist the State Patrol around 12:30 this morning, but they had to block off an area near 14th Street to search for this man, but they did not ultimately find him as far as we know at the moment. We are working to learn why that man was on the run, why were they searching for him, and all those details. We do have a call into the State Patrol to find out all of that information.
A story new for you this morning. A former Beulah, North Dakota bank president is going to prison for his part in fraudulent bank dealings. We also know 2 other people were involved in this scheme as well. But 31-year-old Brady Torkerson is going to prison for 2 years after conducting fraudulent bank transactions back in 2019 and 2021. He was employed at Security State Bank and Union Bank when prosecutors say he funded loans without proper information and actually took out fraudulent loans in 3 other people's names. The other 2 that are involved, 61-year-old Brent Torgerson and 34-year-old Kelly Huffman. They'll each have to serve 1 year of supervised release and pay a $5,000 fine. They were charged with misapplication of bank funds.
All right, some West Fargo homeowners say they're feeling stuck inside the city's industrial park. The Meadowbrook Park development was annexed into the city in 2004, but since then the city has slowly rezoned the land around that neighborhood as industrial. That has bumped up taxes significantly to pay for infrastructure for those businesses in the area, but not for the homes. Now, a developer wants the city to rezone the remaining land surrounding those houses as industrial. Homeowners want out of this whole thing, but they can't sell their properties because of the location that they're in that industrial area. And the Planning and Zoning Commission has now paused rezoning plans until they say that a fair deal can be made to compensate these homeowners that are all caught up in the middle of this new industrial development. So, big story. We're going to keep following exactly kind of what happens with this whole thing.
And I feel like the debate is heating up over this approval voting system. Of course, it's fairly new, and some Fargo city leaders do not like it. Mayor Mahoney, one of them. But apparently it's a step closer to being a reality. The Fargo mayor, however, says he will continue to fight against this change. A new bill that would eliminate ranked choice and approval voting has passed in the state house. Opponents tried to make an amendment excluding Fargo from the bill, but that amendment failed 65 to 28. Fargo Tim Mahoney says he supports approval voting, but as we've talked about this morning, West Fargo Representative Ben Koppelman calls approval voting not American. So now the bill is, if the bill goes, it is now in the Senate, and if it passes in the Senate, it's not over yet because I guess Mayor Mahoney in Fargo is saying he still is going to seek a veto from Governor Doug Burgum. So a lot more debate than I saw coming on this approval voting. But
interesting stuff.
Hot topic.
We'll see where it goes. All right, over in Minnesota, an effort to allow felons voting rights has been stopped. The decision comes more than a year after it was argued to the state Supreme Court, so obviously a big deal. In a lengthy ruling, most justices on the Minnesota court were not in favor of reestablishing those rights. They believe that the current ban on felon voting is constitutional, and they say that it can continue. Now, a study in 2019 found that 9% of Native Americans and 6% of Black Minnesotans were not able to vote due to this ban. And Minnesota is one of only 16 states that does not allow serving time, the people that did serve time, to vote if they have felonies.
Too often we're talking about this, and now another mass shooting to talk about today.
Yeah.
One person is dead, 3 others are injured after gunshots rang out inside a food court at a mall in El Paso, Texas. This one just happened yesterday. 2 suspects are in custody thanks to an off-duty police officer who happened to be working security at the mall. 2 of the 3 victims who were hospitalized are still listed in critical condition this morning. This is a sad connection to this as well. The mall that this shooting happened is just adjacent to a Walmart where a mass shooting happened just a couple years ago, 2019. That mass shooting killed 23 people and left nearly 24 more injured. So we're still, working to find more information on what exactly led up to this most recent mass shooting, however.
Sad story. All right, Moderna says its COVID vaccines will remain available at no cost even after the government contracts it has ends. So the U.S. Public Health Emergency Declaration, which was in place for all of the COVID pandemic, is slated to end in May. Moderna says when that happens, people who are insured will still be able to get their vaccine at their doctor's office or from a pharmacy. Now, people who don't have insurance, or if the vaccine is not covered by their insurance, can still get that shot through the pharmaceutical company's patient assistance program.
Okay. The clock is ticking on the U.S. debt ceiling. The federal government could default on its loans this summer if Congress doesn't act. That's what a new congressional budget report says anyway. That report says the window between July and September is when it expects the Treasury Department will exhaust its ability to borrow money. The Federal Budgeting Office is stressing that the government could run out of money sooner, for instance, if April tax receipts come in lower than expected. Congress could save the U.S. from catastrophic default by raising the debt ceiling. But of course, that would require House Republicans to pass the bill, and the president would need to sign it.
All right. Also, this morning, Hot Mic starts at 9 o'clock, goes till 11 this morning. Dom Izzo is on the mic. He's going to be telling you all of his sports takes, covering the latest sports news, both locally and nationally. So make sure you join him for that. You can watch it on, WDAY Extra and InForum.com.
I was going to quickly try to find, but I'm not sure what's happening. There's something happening with the Vikings. Is it a new defensive coordinator? That was, I feel like there was something.
I haven't seen it actually, so surprisingly,
So you
I'm
have to
usually on
tune
top
in.
of it all, so I'll have to check in.
Yeah, I know. I like to just try to get, I'm not trying to get you. I was going to say, I felt like I read something
You're probably right.
as far as what's going on with the Vikings. So anyway, you have to tune in. I
Yeah.
know Dom's going to have all of the information, and I may be completely way off on that too. So
Well,
I
either way,
apologize
Dom's
for
going to be
that.
talking about all sorts of sports. Also, if you want to get a subscription to InForum.com, now is a great time to do so. For your first 3 months, it's going to be just 99 cents for an all-access pass to all your local content, some national stories as well, and all the local sports, plus all of your important weather headlines, which we know are important
Absolutely.
after yesterday. So many people that were stranded on roads and bad weather. So stay ahead of all of that with your subscription to InForum.com.
And remember, we'll be back on air starting at 11 this morning, and then this afternoon, 4, 5, 6, 9, and 10, you can catch WDAY News. And of course, we'll be back tomorrow morning from 5 to 7 every weekday morning. You can catch us.
Yes. Have a great day, folks. Thanks for joining us.